Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And now we are back again. I am Yamaayah Subadev, a model, actress, and sophomore of University Malaya, and I will be your host for today's show titled You, Me, and Empowering Yourselves and the Truth, brought to you by BK Nair Resources. What is BKNI Resources? BKNI Resources is the most comprehensive consulting company in working with individual businesses, industries, universities, school, government, and organizations. BKNI Resources conduct seminar, workshops, special programs, individual services, and private consulting, all relating to the physical, social, psychological, and aesthetic aspects of personal appearance and self presentation in all ways. Beacon Iyer, since 10 years ago, been providing trainings, and for every client, we research and customize the program or services to deliver extraordinary results that meet and exceed expectations. We have trained clients from Malaysia, Singapore, India, Kenya, and Qatar. Now, Women of Essence, especially, is a series of workshops in which inspiring women were invited to conduct workshops or seminars for the underprivileged women. Now, coming back today, guys, I would love first and foremost love to forgive and seek your forgiveness because we weren't able to conduct this episode earlier as there was a major unforeseen circumstances that have made us to cancel the event immediately. However, yeah, today back again, and I would love to introduce a little bit on our host, on our guest speaker today. She is a senior sales manager, a pageant model, and a CEO of an international charitable organization, which have raised funds and supported many underprivileged across the country. Destiny Chloe SNR will be sharing with us a journey on how she revolved in her path as she reveals the truth of the reality hurdles, challenges and triumphs she encountered, and what does it really takes to empower yourself in this fast paced world. Now allow me to welcome our guest speaker into the show. Hello, Destiny.
Hi, Maya. Thank you so much for having me. First of all, thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. Very excited to start this off.
Thank you so much, and we are so glad to have you here today. Then, to our audience, Destiny is also my ex-pageantry mate. She is my very good friend, and I would love to give a brief introduction about her today. Now, Destiny, as a pageant model, have achieved many accolades throughout the years. She is Miss Petit Universe International Malaysia third runner-up. She is also Miss Petit Universe International Semenanjung Malaysia Miss Best Catwalk 2020. Besides that, she have won many other accolades like being top 15 and Miss Best Catwalk for Miss Petit International Malaysia 2016. She is also top 10 for Miss and Miss and Mr. Malacca 2017, Miss Intelligent, Miss Nightingale Johor 2018. It's a numerous accolade destiny. She's a winner of Raja and Ratu Sahari MPBJ 2017. She's an official catwalk trainer and charity subtitle sponsor for Miss Segi 2016. She's a catwalk trainer and audition judge for Miss Africa Malaysia in the year of 2017 and Miss and Mrs. Kirby Malaysia 2019. Wow, Destiny, what a wonderful uh, achievement in the pageantry industry. Now, please introduce yourself to our dear audiences a little bit on how you have kickstarted yourself in the pageantry world.
Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. Definitely humbles myself, because it reminds me how far I've actually come. So just to let the audience know, my name is Suria Nivarthini Destiny Chloe. All right, and mostly people know me as Destiny when it comes to
Yeah.
the pageant industry or the modeling industry. I started modeling when I was 20, so that was 9 years ago. I'm 29 now.
Wow. Wow. That's a long years in
A
the
long
pageantry world.
stretch. a definite wrong stretch. Obviously, I came a long way because being 20 years old, I never really thought I could do modeling or go into pageants and stuff like that. Like most girls, I did have my own insecurities, and I was, having self-doubt, etc. But then I just tried it. People were constantly telling me, "Why don't you just try it? Just try it." And that was the thing. Like, you just have to make that first step,
Yeah,
and I never stopped after that.
that's
I mean,
wonderful.
I didn't do it on a full time basis because I was mainly focusing on my career in the corporate world because I started off in the corporate world at 19 as well. And I also had to, I was more into business development, and I wanted to be an entrepreneur, businesswoman, and that's why I focused more on that, and I didn't go so much into modeling or pageants. But whenever I got the chance to, and I got the opportunities, I definitely went for them.
That's wonderful, Destiny. I mean, being a woman who is both inspired to achieve success in a business world and also in the pageantry world. I mean, wow, you are definitely an inspiration to me. And who actually inspired you the most to continuously strive for success in both
Okay.
business and pageantry world?
To be honest, to I do not specifically have a role model per se, because for me, what I actually aspire to be or admire on someone is their qualities that they have. It could be anybody from like to name a few would be like one of my mentors, which is Natasha. She's a fantastic, loud, bold woman. She's very intelligent, very straightforward. She's the one that taught me a lot about sales side of things. Even when it comes to my communication, etc. When it comes to business, PR, branding, so all of this I learned from her. And I do admire her resilience. And she's always that type of person where she says there's always when there's a will, there's a way. You just have to be resourceful. She always says that, always be resourceful. Apart from that, other people that I would say, of course, would be my mom. Even though she worked in Hotel Istana, she was a hotelier,
Yeah.
and she was a very very independent strong woman, and she worked her way up as well from being in the laundry and up to she became the banquet coordinator.
Wow.
So that was something that I grew up watching as well, my mom, how she worked, her work ethics, and how she was a very fierce woman as well. I kind of have those traits very much,
Mhm.
but it was more of like she was very kind hearted as well. So as much as you are very strong, whatever, you still have to be very kind.
Yeah.
And apart from that, I would say a few models that I can, like, when it comes to the industry wise, I would say like Ashley Graham. I think a lot of people know about Ashley Graham right now.
Yes.
She broke the stereotype as well, and empowering herself and also other people, whoever is going through the body positivity thing. Apart from that, also there's a local Indian local model of ours in Malaysia. Her name is Vanessa, and
Wow.
she also went through quite a lot because of her skin color. She has this beautiful dark complexion. I'm
Yes.
like,
Yes.
it's just amazing.
Yes.
I actually envy it. But she also went through quite a lot of bullying, etc., not being accepted in the industry, but she strived, and look at her now. She's like really really booming. Another person I could come up with is also another Malay model and a pageant queen as well, Hanisha Hani. I'm sure a lot of people know about her and what happened to her as well. She lost the crown, etc. So all this thing, but now she got another crown. She's an ambassador. She got more opportunities. She used that. She learned from a lesson with whatever it is, but she moved forward. So these are the qualities I actually look at. So whoever it might be, for me, I don't look up to a person just because of their image or who they are, but it's more of their qualities and what they are sharing to another person. For
That
example, those are.
that's wonderful, Destiny. Especially, you have just introduced to us quite many models who are not I mean, in today's world, many people are looking into influencers, into number of like and followers, but they fail to realize how much of effort these models, the real model, are putting in and trying to strive professionally in order to achieve and retain the real success. It's amazing that you were inspired by great icon as such. I would love to ask, from your side personally, have you undergone such challenges, and how did you overcome it in this pageant journey?
Okay. To be honest, I'm gonna touch a little bit on the modeling side as well and pageant because as there are similarities in between those, but there are also differences as well.
Yes.
But coming to pageants, the hurdles I would say that I
Yes.
faced was one was my height, because I was 5'5", and
Yes.
the usual pageant industry you have to be at least 5'7" and above. So
Yes.
that was one of the hurdles I had to endure. So I couldn't go for a lot of pageants, that
Understood.
like Miss Malaysia or Miss Grand, etc. There's
Yes.
so many
Yes.
out there.
Mm.
But then another thing as well I had to go through, this was more together with the modeling side and then also the pageant side, was because I had scars on my skin as well, because I had a very sensitive skin since a young age. I'm very allergic to dust and certain foods, stuff like that. So I had that as well as even when it comes to certain modeling jobs, that comes as a little bit of a, oh, maybe not kind of thing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
these are the little things. Another part is maybe I've always got this thing that I'm too skinny.
Mhm. Yeah.
Even that part, like, because obviously I was going through a lot of things. I have a very high metabolism as well. It's not very
Mm.
easy for me to gain weight,
Yes.
but I do eat a lot. I do eat
Mm.
like at 2 o'clock in the morning, nasi lemak and all of those
Yes.
things. People would not even believe those. People who are around me, my friends and
Mhm.
family,
Mhm.
they actually know. They know I munch in the middle of the night like no one's business. But they're
Yeah.
like, how do you not gain any weight? But people find that to be like a good thing. But
Yeah.
for me personally, I am trying to gain weight. I'm struggling to gain weight. And when you get remarks like those, like you're too skinny, or why don't you eat more, and all those things. Yeah, you're like, okay, yeah, some people want my type of body, but at the same time, it's not nice to hear things like that as well.
Yes. Yes.
So those were the certain things. Even when it came to my skin as well, the reason why I was very hesitant to start modeling initially was growing up as a teenager. I had like bad acne all over my face, so hence the scars right now. I've had an experience where you get catcalled on the road or stuff like that,
Yes.
and then when
Yes.
I ignore them, the comment that I got back was that, oh, go and tar your road, where your face is like it's like a bumpy road kind of things, those type of comments and stuff.
Very mean.
So
Those comments
yeah,
are very mean. And
exactly.
how did you handle it? I mean, like, if you.
Oh,
Mm.
I mean, obviously, at that point in time, I was like, 15, 16. You're like, you're still quite young and still a bit.
Yes.
To be honest, I do have a temper on me. Because first of all, like, I actually want to, like, clear this up as well to the audience, whoever that's going to be watching this.
Yes.
I'm here to be the real me, and I'm not here to, like, put up a show of like, oh, I'm perfect in this and whatever. I got so much of issues, which I will
Yes.
get to those in a bit.
Yes.
But so when I was going through those things, yes, it did affect me emotionally. Because it's like, as strong as I was, as bold I was, those things does affect you, because you hear negative things, and sometimes being human, it's something that it's inevitable. You would feel a certain way, regardless how strong you are, and regardless how much you say you do not care about what other people talk about or think about you. Sometimes it does get to you, and that's what makes us human. So that's why I try to always I was going through a tough time, and I came across this quote which said, be fierce but always be kind. And that
Mm.
kind of stuck to me, because that kind of resonates on my personality as well, because I am a fierce person. But when I say that, I need to kind of a little elaborate on that part, because
Yes.
people might take it as a negative thing, because being fierce is like, it's about anger, or
Yes.
it's a negative thing. But for me, when I say that, like, be fierce, but be always be kind, in the sense of like love fiercely, be passionate fiercely, protect the loved ones that you have, or against any ill treatment of someone fiercely. Those things, yes, be fierce, and be that type of a strong character, but always be kind, because that just because you're strong and bold doesn't mean that you can't show your empathetic side or your emotional side, because that's what is most important. And
Wonderful.
I've made so much of mistakes as well, like everybody else, where I've had anger issues. I lash out at people, and but as the years go and you learn certain lessons as well, you make mistakes, and you try to better yourself every day. I'm doing that every day as well. Even 2 weeks ago, I've had a breakdown as well, like because of the stress. I'm grieving as well. I'm still grieving. I lost my mom 4 years ago, but I'm still grieving. So all these things does affect you. So that's why I said I'm here to talk about the real thing. So the title, you, me, and empowering
And
yourself,
for
the truth.
yourself, yes.
That's a lot about the truth. I'm here to talk about the truth.
Wonderful, Destiny. I mean, hearing all the your hurdles and how that you're coping up it very well, it really is very inspiring. And that actually relates the part where you say be fierce but be kind. Do relate with the part with how you became a CEO of Badass Monkeys. Now, would you like to share with us a little bit about the charitable organization and the social engagement that you were doing for the public?
Sure, will do. Basically, Badass Monkeys was actually created. There's a founder, which is Natasha, and a co-founder, which is Kiani. And obviously, they were family friends and everything like that. I know them for a very long time. And they started it off when they came here. And Tasha actually started it off when she saw some of the ladies who were living under the bridge, basically prostituting themselves for food. And so that kind of caught her, and which made it like, okay, if even if you did, if let's say it's a sex worker or anything, if they just do it for the money, is okay, that's a different thing. But if you're doing that just to get a packet of Maggie, that's not something that is, so that really affected her. And she also was like, okay, we need to do something. So basically what she did was she just collected donations from, like, rice and noodles, dry foods, from neighbors, friends, etc., and donated it. And that's how it actually started. So Kiani came in where, because she's actually a sports teacher, so she actually come up with the idea of having the merchandise. Badass Monkeys is actually a moniker given to Tasha because of her personality. So that's how they actually ended up putting it into it, because we wanted it to be run, and also so that we can sustain the actual organization. So hence why we started off with the merchandise. So along the way, once they've already started, then I came into the picture, and also worked together with them. And I actually do not like to say I'm the CEO as much, because I've always been in the back end.
Yes, yes.
Because for me, it's not about the titles or about the fame, etc. It's about the actual work that we do. And so it was a really good experience for me, because obviously growing up, my mom was always teaching me to always be kind and always do help other people. That was actually instilled in my mom, and because I grew up seeing her helping other people in any way that she can. I come from very humble beginnings as well. Like, I actually was born in Perak, but I grew up in KL my whole life since I was like 2 years old. I was living in a low cost flat in Taman Maluri. The normal lifestyle of the low class, middle class family kind of thing. My mom struggled a lot because she was a single mom as well. So those kind of things. So that's why I say, like, I come from humble beginnings. So when people look at me now, the way I dress, like, or like my style, this, that, and everything, all of these things I had to learn along the years. Obviously influences from people that I look up to, the people I meet along the years, which I am so grateful for. Some of the things, yes, of course, there were, like, bad experiences, etc. But I think we all need those bad experiences, and like the hardships and the struggles and suffering as well, because nothing comes easy. And if it does come easy, it's not going to last. And to be honest, I've also had to, change my perspective in my mentality as well when it comes to those things, because there was a point of time where I was also had depression, especially when I lost my mom. Even before that, like slowly I was already there. But then when I lost my mom, I really fell into depression for one whole year. I ruined my relationships with people, friends, etc. Those times I am touching a little bit on the mental health side as well, because I think when we talk about empowerment, it's not just about putting on a show, but it's also about the mental capacity that you have to go the extra mile and to keep going. And I think a lot of people have realized that, and especially when COVID hit us and the whole pandemic, the whole world stopped. I think the last 2020, I think it taught a lot of people good lessons.
Yes,
And
yes,
also, it kind of taught people on the most important thing, which is the essence of things, not just the outer layer.
mhm,
So that's why, like, so when it came to Badass, that's why I resonated so much with the message behind it, because it's not just about, just doing something, just charity or whatever, but actually doing something. Because I've had experiences, a few stories that I could share was
yeah,
that there was one of these ladies, Indian ladies, she lost her husband out of sudden, and they had four kids. She had a toddler, like from like the oldest was like 7, and like she had like a 6-month-old baby. Right. We went into their homes, and we realized that their whole house was filled with termites, falling apart. The kids were getting bitten by the termites because they can't afford to, get clear them out. She had her eldest son, he had eczema all over his body, where the medicine just cost us 80 ringgit to get it for him, but they couldn't afford that, just 80 ringgit. And he's been suffering with that for like 2 years, that he had like, like proper scars and like bleeding and stuff like that. So when I saw that, and when I was speaking to the auntie, and when she actually told me her stories, and talking about, like people who are like us, who are total strangers, are coming to help her, but not even her family or own relatives or anybody that they know her can even help her like that. They don't even care about them, and they just, leave them. When she said those things, I walked out of the house and I burst out crying. I couldn't take it, because that feeling, that's what I said. When I do, like, I think when I did my advocacy video for my pageant, which was Miss Petite Universe International Semenanjung, that's what I spoke about, because I said that is the message I'm trying to share to people, where it's not about you remember the help that I did, but just remember that someone helped you in your hard times. So if you're seeing somebody else in a hard time, do something, as little as it might be. Sometimes, yes, we are maybe are not in the position to help them physically or monetary wise, etc. But maybe the only thing that they need is just for you to be there, to be a listening ear. That could help
yes,
a lot, just for
yes,
someone to know that somebody who cares. I
yes,
think that's the main thing. So when it came to Badass Monkeys, that was the main thing. So that's why our tagline was supporting the underprivileged, because we didn't want to like specifically just put it for just the homeless or the single ladies or the orphanage, etc. Everybody needs help. So whenever there is a need, let's help whatever way we could. So that was the idea behind it. And along the years, we've worked with a lot of NGOs, a lot of organizations, and I'm very proud of the work we've done so far. And we still have a lot more going on. We just launched the People in Prison project as well recently, but obviously during the MCO, some of the plans were a bit delayed because we couldn't receive the prison system, etc. So but it's coming back slowly. So definitely follow our page so that you can see if you want to donate. Check out our website at www.badassmonkeys.com if you would like to, participate, or any help that you want to get towards what we do. Just check it out. So that's kind of the little brief on Badass, what we do, and what is the actual message behind it,
that's
and how
wonderful,
I actually got
Destiny.
how I actually got involved in that, because it actually made me happy, because helping somebody else, it's actually a very nice feeling. It is actually a very nice
Yes.
feeling.
And that comes to my next question. Wonderful job, and my heart gratitude to Natasha and to all the founders and your team behind Badass Monkeys. What a wonderful job that you guys have been doing, and sharing all the stories have definitely just hit another side of me. Trying to be more grateful with what I have today, and to all others who is listening to this. Definitely, COVID-19 is has just affected us a little bit, but there are many people who are actually suffering in for a very long time and throughout the years. So
Exactly.
yeah, and this definitely relates to my next question that I want to ask now. How does now you have had a diversified experience in pageantry as well in the social engagement side, doing charity for others. How would you define self empowerment? Is it something like what today we see on Instagram, on the media, where people go for workouts, where people um, put on a good image of themselves? Is that what self empowerment all about? Or true, based on your experience and now putting all of it together, how would you define self empowerment?
Okay. When it comes to empowerment, right? I don't think you can actually specify exactly what that is, because or on a certain field, because
Mm.
somebody could be empowering someone, like what you mentioned, like doing
Yeah,
fitness videos. They might be empowering someone to get healthy, to get fit. They are
yeah,
inspiring someone else to get to a healthy level. If
yeah,
let's say it's a makeup artist, they're doing all kind of makeups, the SFX makeups and all of those. That's like, for other people to see the creative side, the talent of things. They're teaching people skills, all of those things. So we cannot pinpoint exactly just one thing. What is empowerment? There's no such thing as that. For me personally,
yeah.
that's my opinion, right? And to be honest, right, when I got the opportunity to do this session with you,
Mm.
especially when you told me the title, it
Yeah.
kind of like took me aback,
Yeah.
because obviously I had to rethink as well, because I was like, okay, am I um, at the right state of mind, or am I right at the right stage for me to talk about empowerment?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't want to come up here and be a fake person where I've
Yeah.
not got there and I'm talking about,
Yeah.
how to empower yourself, because I'm still learning that every day as well,
Yes.
and I think when it comes to empowerment, it's a daily thing. It's same like motivation. That's why they recommend it daily, because
Yeah.
it's something that you have to do. It's like a workout. Like how you would do a workout for your physical body is the same when it comes to the mental. And as
Yeah.
much as I say that out loud, it is easier said than done. And
Yeah.
even I struggle with that on a daily basis, right? So that's why I said. So when I thought about it, I was like, okay, like I have to think about this. Do I really want to speak about it? Then I was like, you know what? No, because even when you see all the big stars, or even the speakers at TED Talk, or motivational speakers, whatever, they all went through this, and they're all going through stuff as well, and people do not show their negative sides or their struggles. People only put out, obviously social media is only for the nice and glitz and glam.
Yes.
So when it comes to that, people only put all the nice things, even including myself. You don't see me posting all about what I'm going through and stuff like that, because you don't want to share out that negative side. But that doesn't mean that you're being fake. That just means that you're taking that as a strider day, and just moving on and do what you need to, because I believe each and every one of us, the moment we walk out of our door, like your house, we're putting on a mask,
Yeah.
right? Because
Very.
all of your problems, or all of the feelings, or the emotions, the mental health, losses, grief, anything that you're going through, financials, you kind of put it away, and you have to go on and put on a persona where you're strong enough. That's not being fake. That is just living life, and
Yes.
and trying to persevere through your pain. And I'm also kind of the same thing. I don't like to say that I want to be a role model to people, or I want people to look up to me and stuff like that, because I have my own flaws, like everybody else. Like I mentioned earlier, I have, like, I have a hot temper and things like that. So and even, like, I can be emotional at times. I think these are normal things, and I've made my own fair share of mistakes. I've lost certain people along the way just because of those things. And but those are the things that you learn from. So now, when it comes to empowerment, that's why I said, like, if I can speak up about it, whenever you speak up about it, especially, it has to be the truth. It
Yes.
has to be the truth. And this is something that my mentor says as well. I will mention it as well, that he always says that it has to be the truth. It has to come from a place of truth. So for me, that's why, like, when I decided to, I was like, no, I will do this show, because I have things that I can actually share based on my experiences, because you cannot compare your experiences to someone else, because it's never
Different
going to
of
be
them,
the same.
a different life journey.
Yeah,
Yes, I
it's
get.
never going to be the same, because there's a saying that what's a normal day for a spider is chaos for a fly,
Yeah,
right?
such a
So
quote.
yeah. Yeah,
Something to
so you
remember.
know so you can never, like, look down and at someone else's struggle or anything like that. You can only advise, or just understand, or just be there for that person. So I think, like, for me, that's why I said, like, even speaking up about these things. Even some people, they speak up about mental health, and especially at this point in time, a lot of people are talking about mental health, and because it's come very apparent now that we can't hide those things. So
Yes,
even those coming up, because that takes a lot of strength to actually,
to
talk about
express.
those type of
Yeah.
things.
Yes,
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 because of the stereotype that people have, and you'll probably get backlashes. People will try to throw it back at your face.
yes.
All of these things will happen, even including me as well. you know. So I'm also learning on a daily basis on how to improve myself. Some days are a battle. Some days are definitely a battle, and
Yes,
but some days you could be like, like you're the king of the world.
yes,
And that's why I do, like, sometimes on Instagram, when I'm not feeling great, I don't post anything, I don't do anything, because I don't want to share that type of negative energy, right?
yes,
But it's not just only about social media, but it's also around your circle of people, people that you have around you. Might be your family, your partner, your friends, your work colleagues. But sometimes I've made that mistake as well. Like, I pissed off people that's around me because of those things, my negative flaws that I have, because nobody is perfect. But along the ways, either you acknowledge that and you make some changes to better yourself, or not. That is the only difference, and it's obviously not going to happen overnight. It's a work
it
in
takes
progress.
years. Yeah, it's a work in progress. That's wonderful. And this is a very important message to many out there, especially the youth, I would say. The reason that I actually took out and I wanted to this topic, to speak about this with Destiny is because I think that you have gone through a diversified experience in your life. And today we are seeing youth taking a very timid steps by going for suicide and cases like this, so they definitely need to hear this message on how much people are really suffering in the real life and the real hurdles, and how they are countering back and being very
Hmm.
positive about this. So my next question would be something related to about self-empowerment and the myth to narcissistic, like being so towards about ourselves, so concerned about ourselves, with a quote saying from Eleanor Roosevelt, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." And
That's true.
yes, and I would love to know your perspective on what do you think about self empowerment versus narcissistic, and how about people relating like this person is too much of her ego, she's too much about herself, and people who have concerns about them getting that feedback. What is your take about this?
Okay. Yeah, because there is definitely a fine line between those things. Obviously, being a narcissist, like, yeah, you think, I mean, if you've done psychology, or if you've researched about psychology a little bit, it's more of the thing where it's manipulation as well. What a narcissist does is that to make themselves feel better, they put down somebody else. So
Yes,
that is not empowerment. Once you start putting somebody else down, That's it, right? So that is the difference. So when you're empowering somebody, yes, and that's the thing. There is a slight difference between being confident and being a narcissist as well, because you can be, you have to be confident, and that doesn't mean that you think you're the best. When you're good at something, be proud of yourself for it. Know that you're worth, because no one else is going to come and tell you. It doesn't matter if someone else comes and tell you or not. You need to know your own worth, right? But at the same time, never let anyone else to step on you either. So you need to know the limits of things, right? So if, like, say for example, if I, like now let me put as an example, all right, let me just put it as my situation. So like now I have Miss Best Catwalk like multiple times. I have the subtitle for Miss Best Catwalk, so I can say I'm great at catwalk or whatever, but I'm still learning as well. I have my flaws. That's the real story. Yeah, I'm still learning every day, getting better every day, right? But let's say I have I train girls that comes in for catwalk and whatever. I train them, and then I scold them like, what are you walking? Why are you walking like a duck? Or what? How many times do I teach you? This is how you need to do. You think that is not empowering them? That's like breaking them down. And that, how is that making me feel nice? You know. So that's the thing. So if hurting someone else, or if putting down someone else makes you feel fulfilled, then yeah, you need to check yourself. you know. So I
True, true,
think that
that's
that
right.
is the difference when it comes to narcissism. But to be honest, right, as much as I say that, since we're on that topic, I think all of us are to a certain extent.
Yes.
To be completely honest, if you
Yes.
actually think about it, right? Because it could be the most simplest thing. You could have broken up with your boyfriend and you think, you can't find anyone else like me. Simple as that. As much as
Yes,
you say that,
yes,
because depends on the situation. But
yes,
all of us have those things. We are human. We can't lie about these things,
yes,
right?
yes,
I'm sure whoever that watches the show, even now, live or later on, they
yes,
probably would admit that. Ask yourself that. You don't even have to tell somebody else. So
yes,
these are the questions that I had to ask myself, because I call it shadow work. They call it shadow work, because shadow works means that you're trying to better yourself and all of your negative flaws, and acknowledging those things in the dark, because all of those happens in the dark. No one shows you out in the light,
yes,
right?
yes,
So that's why it's called shadow work. And trying to do those things, you will get lonely. Like I had to go through those things as well. I had to be lonely. I had to be by myself, trying to be independent, trying to do everything on your own, and trying to be strong enough to carry those things, trying to keep your emotions in check as well. Like sometimes you might go through a bad situation. Like even yesterday, my car broke down literally on the way to work. On the way to work, like my belt actually snapped. Luckily enough, I was already stopping my car, right? So these kind of things can happen, and I was like, okay, what do I do? If it was me before, like a few years ago, I would say even 6 months ago, I would have, started being like, like getting stressed out and screaming and shouting. I just went, okay, I need to sort it out. I still need to get to work. Called the, car assistant, get that sorted, sent it home, got a grab, went to work. I never thought about it, sent it to the workshop. So it's like, that's why I said, like, I had to learn that as well, the perspective on how to handle certain things, and also the emotion part of things. So when it comes to empowerment or stuff like that, it's always about control, being in control of your emotions and how you react. Because whatever people do to you, because if, let's say, whatever other people do to you or say to you can make you react in a way, that means you're easily manipulated, easily influenced, because you don't have self-control in that way. Someone else can just say something like that, and you're just, and I used to be that type of person, like, and that is also because of ego, high ego. So and to be honest, yes, I did have a high ego, like, you can't tell me things and stuff like that. But it was because, when they call young blood,
yes.
you're all oily, and I used to have red hair,
I
like
much
red
agree. Yes,
hair. So I was a rebellious person. The moment I got the chance, I ran out of my house like that.
yes.
When I got my freedom and stuff like that. So that's why I said, like, I can't sit here and lie to you. They're saying that I'm all prim and proper and stuff like that. I'm a hardcore person. That has never changed. But obviously, like, going through the pageants, especially going through the pageants, because the trainings that we had to go through, especially like, like DKNIS resources, like I know how they train the girls for interpersonal skills, etc., grooming, whatever. That's how I had to refine myself. So it was not about like changing myself, because this was a conversation I actually even had in my indoor judging as well, where I said, because they did say, like, I have to change certain things. I had like piercings all over, I had red hair. So it's not an image that is suitable for what I'm trying to go for, right? So I was like, okay, yes, I had to go through that part of like battling between my identity, basically, right? Because I was like, okay, am I going to be doing something just to change myself, or in order for me to just get something,
Yeah.
or am I doing it for the right reasons, right? So that I don't lose my own essence of things. So that's when I said, like, I'm flexible because I will bend but I'll not break.
Yeah.
So I was actually open to, to refining myself, not just physically but also mentally and emotionally as well. And obviously along the years, I couldn't communicate like this at all, like 5 6 years ago at all. I had communication issues, but obviously, being with my mentor, and also like my work wise, my career wise, because I'm doing sales, I have to meet people every day, socializing, this, that. So that kind of helped me, hence why I can speak now as well. And also with the pageants, etc., because it's not easy to stand up on stage and talk to that many people, even though sometimes you can't see them because of the spotlights, but
Yeah.
people are watching this, like so much cameras, etc. Even me walking out, before walking out, I'm like so nervous, and then before I walk out, I just take a deep breath, call, summon whatever I need to summon. I summon the universe, I summon my mom to walk with me, and I walk.
Yes.
So that's how it is. So you need to find a place of strength, I believe, because sometimes you will feel lost, and I say that based on my own experiences as well. Whatever that I'm saying now is all based on my experiences. Um, so, like, there has been times where I was lost. I've sat down at the table, on a dinner table, and cried, saying that I'm so lost. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with my life, because
Yes.
certain things happened, so there were changes in life that I didn't know what to do. But now I'm like, I've got new opportunities where I be more positive, I be more open to things, where I put it out in the universe, I put it out where, these are the type of things I want to do, these are the type of energy I want to be around. And it's also mainly the type of people you surround yourself with as well,
Yes. Yes.
because that's why they say that, if you want to be an entrepreneur, surround yourself with entrepreneurs. If you want to be rich, you surround yourself with rich people. It's not because you're trying to be fake. I know there's a saying when they say, fake it till you make it.
Yes.
You
Yes.
can take it both ways, same way like
Yes.
how I said, like, be
Yes.
fierce but always be kind.
Yeah.
There's two ways to take it, right?
Mhm.
Someone that I used to know, like, they used to say there's no right or wrong answers as well, right? Only we decide what it is. As long as it doesn't affect another person, then it's good to go, right? So when it comes to fake it and to make it, you can take it in a way where, you surround yourself, you vision yourself, you already believe that that's what you are. So that kind of motivates your mind to already be on that level of things, so you will work on that level, right? So
Yeah.
that will get you to where you want to. So but then sometimes when you see people, when you fake it till you make it, where you're just being totally fake, that's not going
Yeah.
to get you.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
going to show. It is definitely going to show. So those are the thing, I think, like, when it comes to, like, empowering yourself, or like, trying to get over the hurdles, or your emotional status, or any of your hardships that you're going through. And sometimes it's not just, because I have to mention that as well, because I've realized that, me being in that type of state of mind, where, either if I'm depressed, or I'm going through grief, or I have my anger, or I'm frustrated, things
Yes.
like that, it affects other people. And that's not a nice feeling. Like, personally, for me, it's not a nice feeling either, because I that's not the type of energy I want to leave people with. And that's not the type of energy, or that type of image I want people to remember me as. Because To be honest, I was always called as like I was always known as the, oh yeah, she's the strict one, or she don't mess with that one, like and to be honest, like I have the RBF as well. If I don't smile, people always think, and I always get that comment of like, oh, when I initially met you, I thought you were snobbish and you're so
Yes.
whatever kind of thing. So like nowadays, I've learned to be more like I'm always smiling. I'm not like, well, obviously I still have my stern side. I like if I'm working and stuff like that, I have my serious side to it. So but it's more within reasons, and
Yeah.
it doesn't like I don't go overboard with my things, right? So I think that's what I would say on that part when it comes to like trying to make yourself be the better version of yourself to keep going, and not lose yourself in that way.
You have shared with us a wonderful how that you actually take it positively and work on it, and especially keep improving yourself and actually teaching youth like me. I'm learning a lot from you today on how to be optimistic, and especially when somebody, I do agree that, being a youngster, I do have my ego right now as well, and I'm
Mhm.
also trying to correct myself. And thank you, Destiny. That was actually very inspiring. Let me take a question from one of our viewers.
Sure.
How do you ignore judgment from the society? Wow, this must be related to being a model and pageantry, a public figure, right? How would you ignore a judgment from the society?
Okay, to be honest, right? I would say for me personally, I don't know. I rarely get harassment or negative comments online.
Yeah.
Maybe because of my personality. Maybe because people are scared to say anything bad. But when I actually do see it, I do see a lot of other people going through that and stuff like that. And what I can actually say about those things, but I get negative comments from like people like face to face or things like that. It depends. I can't say that you can actually ignore it because you're still human. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna read it. It's gonna be in the back of your brain. But what you can do is like think what, because sometimes when actually people give you criticism, see, did you give them a reason to? You can
Yes.
analyze it that way, because some people might give it might be a positive criticism, correct? But if
Yeah.
let's say they're being judgmental, or they're criticizing you for something that you do that they might not do or whatsoever, end of the day, it's your life. You're doing what you need to. And you have to understand, certain people, especially when it comes to keyboard warriors, right, on social media,
Yes.
they
Yes.
would not dare to come up to your face to say that to you. So why would you even bother if they're just on a comment? Of course, it's gonna hurt. That's why I'm saying that is the truth. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna affect you. But you have to believe that. Why focus on the negative one? Because when people are like praising you, saying you're so beautiful, you're so confident, oh, you inspire me, whatever, whatever, we feel happy for 5 seconds. But when people say something negative, why do we feel so bad for like 10 years?
Yes.
Like, I don't know why. Because we as humans, this is human psychology as well.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
humans love drama. We love negative stuff. We
True.
love negative stuff. And our
Yeah.
brains are wired that way. That's why when it comes to trying to be positive or always trying to motivate yourself, it's a daily struggle because it's not as easy doing it with the negative side. That's how we are actually programmed as humans, right?
Yes.
So these are the things that you kind of have to look at, because when people judge you, you have to question yourself now. Yes, you can question yourself. When people judge you like that, think, how many people are you inspiring by it, and how many people are you like destroying somebody's life, or
Yes.
so that's how you have to look at it, because everyone got something to say, so just give them something to talk about. End of the day, I give them something positive to talk about, even if they talk negative. So what? Take the
Yeah.
positive out of it, and because
Mhm.
that is not going to stop you from doing what you need to do, because those
Yeah.
people are quite irrelevant, actually, to be honest. As long as those, that's why I said, as long as your circle the people that matters to you, around you, that, and these people can even just be the supporters, that the strangers that you don't even know. Because I have so many of those type of people on my page, Instagram page, that I've never even met them before in real life, or we've never even chatted, but they've always supported me, and been like, motivating me, sending me messages through like Instagram and stuff like that. So those are the things that is more like more important for me. Whoever that said the negative stuff, I just ignore it. Like, you know what, it's headache for me. Like, I might as well focus on the ones that is actually being positive about it, who's I've actually made an impact on, because that helps me. So focus on the thing that helps you. Throw away the things that doesn't help you. That's what I can say about that, to answer that question. Hopefully that helped.
Wonderful advice, and I hope it helps. It definitely helps a lot to me as well, to always be positive and just avoid the toxic people, the people who are trying to lessen your positive energy. And that brings me to one final last question. Now, Destiny, you have just explain to us, just share with us your story from the pageant, from the charity side, from your own personal story on how did you continuously self-empower yourself to strive success. Now, coming to the part of pageantry and the misconception of it,
Mhm.
there are many misconceptions with the same pageantry models, and they do not really self-empower. Now, how do you deal with people like this? Coming with this criticism regarding about pageantry models?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, like
How,
I said before, it's all about perspective. End of the day, I think that's the end message in this whole thing. It's all about perspective, correct? Because obviously, to be honest, being young, like I grew up watching, America's Next Top Model, and watching, all the pageants, etc. Watching like all the girls, they're all tall, slim, and with the blonde hair, the big hair, and everything.
yes.
So it's always the stereotype, and then like people have it like, oh, they walk in half naked on stage, because why do you need swimsuit and stuff like that? To be honest, I had that type of thought as well. Before this, right? Because that's why, like, most of the pageants that I went to, they didn't have a swimwear around, which I actually appreciated as well. But not to say that the ones that actually has an issue about it, because end of the day, when you go to a beach, you see people wearing a bikini or a swimsuit, you're fine with it.
Yes.
But when you look at them and their body, you're like, oh, there's a nice body and everything. Because when the girls are on stage, when it especially comes to the swimsuit run, whatever, it's for their physique, because they've worked hard for it.
Yes.
It's not, it's like, bodybuilding kind of thing. If you've
Yes.
actually worked hard for it, that's why they put you on a swimsuit where you can see your physique, your tone and whatever. So it's for one of those reasons. It's not just about putting a girl up there so to show your skin and stuff like that. Some people have these comments where they say, where when it comes to the evening dresses, or why does it have to always be see through and stuff like that. Okay, when we see this, when it comes to women, what is one of the essence of woman is sensuality, beauty,
Yes.
right? So why do we shy away from it? When you look at it in a nice way, it's fine. But then why would, if it's not for you, then it's not for you. But you can't comment on somebody else who is all right with it, because like I said, what's chaos for the fly is another day for the spider. Like, it's different perspective, different outcome. And I think it's also about the mentality as well. How you're raised, the community wise. Like, I can speak up on like a little bit on, like, my own community, where I'm Indian, so my Indian community as well, especially even the Asian community. Basically, I don't want to put it just one race, right? When it comes to even our Asian culture itself, it's quite of what do you call that, sensitive topic when it comes to those
Yes.
things.
Yes.
When if a girl wears sexy, or if she's wearing a strapless dress or
Yes.
something like that. But it's not like that, because when yes, because people have to understand it's a show. We're putting on a show. People have to look at this on a deeper level. When it comes to pageantry and stuff, it is a show. Like, think deeper. It is a business. It is a show. We're putting on a show. So we have to make sure it's something that everyone wants to see. If you have the girls, all the 20, 30 girls walking in a Kain Guni or something, are you going to watch? No, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly. So people have to think about these things. It's common sense, and also about like when you come to business sense or like entertainment industry and stuff like that. So and that's the thing. People only or look at the image. This is what I said. People always just look at the image, but they don't see how much of work the girls put in trying to do all the social work that they do, all of those interpersonal skills and etc, the trainings, this that they go through. It's not easy. Yes, people think like when it comes to modeling or pageants, oh, you just stand there for like look pretty and everyone just do
yes.
it for you. They don't
I
understand you're
receive a
standing in
lot of
that
the
stage for like
misconceptions.
8 hours on like
Mhm.
6 inches heels. Do you think that doesn't hurt? The tight dresses, your posture, you constantly smiling, and when you're constantly smiling, your jaw is like hurting like no one's business. By the time you probably have like locked jaw, like those kind of things. It's not easy, and
Yeah.
yes, it looks easy, yes, because it looks nice and everything else. But that's the thing. When it came to pageant, like that's when I realized because it also gave me the platform. So I believe it kind of did a lot for all the other ladies as well. Pageantry has been around for so many years now, right? And the yes, you don't probably see like a pageant queen made it somewhere or whatever, but along their years of things personally in their lives, whatever, you take that is a platform. People have to understand pageantry and modeling stuff is a platform for you to take that, build your skills and use that for something else. Either you could go into the pageant industry, you could become a director for the pageant or whatever, you can become a trainer, you can become a spokesperson, you can become a speaker. So many things that you can do, and we've seen that along the years, because like pageant, that's what people say, pageantry is just a platform for you to go to the next level. So this is what people need to understand. It's not just about a beautiful face and standing there all looking like Barbie doll. It's actually also about business as well, because like me, if let's say somebody could go into pageantry, years of experience, whatever, they've already got their accolades, whatever, they can open up an academy or they open up their pageant to train the next girls, whatever. So these are the things that is actually behind it. And some of the girls as well, when it comes to their charity work and etc., some of them, yes, they probably started it just because of the pageant, but some of them, they already had that and they needed a platform to showcase that, and that's where they do it. Like for me example, because I was already involved in it, so it kind of already came with me, when I
Yeah.
went into the pageant world. So that is the only difference. So I think that is what I would like to tell people when they be a bit more judgmental when it comes to the pageant world and stuff like that. Yes, certain things does make people uncomfortable, but sometimes when you're trying to achieve something, you're going to make a lot of people uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's very true, very true. It's be it pageant or non-pageant, the effort of some NGO organization like Destiny, you have had both sides of the journey. You do know you have a great experience and you have ventured, and that definitely shows. I hope that people do know how to define pageantry and does not give any misconception. It's definitely a platform where you can empower many. So, so far, I have seen a lot of hearts and likes, but not that much of question from the viewers. Thank you so much for those who have asked us, and thank you so much, Destiny. You look amazing today. You have
Thank you,
talked and
darling.
shared with us amazing stories on how how that you have gone through many hardships, and here you are today speaking to us and sharing it with us the story. I'm very enlightened and I'm very inspired. I hope the same goes to all our audience today. And would you like to say a final word for them before we call an end for our live session today?
Yes. To be honest, the only thing I would like to say is that just remember you are struggling same as everyone else, and all of us have our flaws, and all of us struggle on a daily basis. So don't think that just because someone else is having this facade or this image, or either on social media or even in person, you don't know what they're going through. So and they don't know what you're going through. So what I will say is just make sure you're there for each other. because end of the day, that is what it is all about. Empowering is all about, because it's not, you can't do everything by yourself, and you need to be one together with each and every. Maybe not everyone's going to be your cup of tea. That's normal, right? But the people that you can influence, or I mean, I do not like the word influence, but at least make them be a bit more like, because for example, because I have to say that, because I post, like, motivational things and stuff like that, like based on my personal thing, and I get responses like, people say, I actually needed that. Just that, because you don't know how much you're going to affect somebody else. And if you are trying to empower yourself, learn to empower others, because that's how you empower yourself. So that's all, that will be my last thing to say.
That's a wonderful message, Destiny. I definitely learned a lot from you today, and I hope the audience had a great insight, great learning today on self empowerment. And that's all for today, Destiny. We have already exceeded the time. It has been 1 hour. I'm really sorry for taking such a long time, but
No
I
problem at
truly
all.
enjoyed today's session. It was definitely, you are an inspiring icon. I'm just wishing the best, the very best for you to achieve greater success in life.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay.
I mean, it's a very humbling experience for me all the time, because it is quite a lot. So, and that's the thing, just be humble, man. And thank you so much for having me. Like, this also has helped me as well, because at the end of the day, talking about these things also helps me and inspires me to do more as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And my heart goes to Badass Monkey as well, to the team. I hope they continue doing the best for the society. Thank you so much, Destiny.
Thank
And let
you.
me just end
Thank you,
our
Maya.
conversation today. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Good night.
Good night.